everybody, this is Alyssa from Main Arts and Crafts, and today we are here, as I make a mess, for a WIP and chat. So I cannot talk today. I don't know what it is. So we're here for a WIP and chat. So WIP stands for work in progress. And chat, we're just going to see here, we're going to chat a little bit about the week, the day, things, what I've been up to, all that fun stuff. So in case you couldn't tell just by looking at this, I just finished a canvas, and rather than planning out the bling and then starting a new canvas this evening, I decided to go ahead and work on my Witchy Stitcher Nostalgic Tarot cross stitch conversion. I have to finish doing all of the 310, filling up to here. This whole area of 310 I have to do, and then I can kind of start into the next section, which is going to be just a little bit of white, and then primarily the rest of the next section is going to be basically pure 310. A little bit of like the color rainbow on top like this going over there, but really it's primarily the 310 to fill in here, and most of the rest of it is going to end up being 310 as well. So tools, what tools am I using today, you may wonder. So first up, we have my pens. I need to load some putty in them because I just changed putty. So this one, this beautiful little mini pen right here, this is from Peachy Keen Pens. I am a huge fan of Peachy Keen Pens over on Etsy. My hot glue string. I love her pens, and the owner, Allison's an absolute like sweetheart as well. So anyways, I love Peachy Keen Pens. Next up, we have these two, which are from Swampwood pen. These are Swampwood pens. So this one right here is like a very heavy glitter confetti. It's like a lot of gold, but it also reminds me, kind of makes me think, orangish tone because of how much gold and brass and all that we have. And then this other one right here that I have my 10 placer on. I love it. It's stunning. It's beautiful. And surprisingly enough, these are really comfortable. We'll see how well I feel using this one for this canvas, because this particular grip forces me to not be a hard presser. But usually on this canvas with the way I do it, I end up having to I have to press harder than I would like to. So those are the pens that I'm using. I am using this beautiful tray from Yellow Dog Designs. This is their Lunar New Year tray. So it's a Year of the Snake, Yellow Dog Designs. This is like the one large tray I have from them. But it's perfect for this massive quantity of color blocking that I'm going to do. I'm using some pineapple cilantro wee wax in my single placers, and then I've got some Randa's Crafty Corner coconut cream pie putty. Right now, it's summertime in Florida, and I have found that right now in this summer time frame, literally the only putty that has been working for me right now has been the Randa's putty. Everything else has ended up being too soft and too stringy. So I've really been using pretty much almost exclusively this summer. I have found that I've had to rely on my Randa's putty. In case you wanted to know how I load my pen, I stab at the tip, and then I will come through and I'll squish down. And you can see there's still like a little area over here that needs more. So then I'll go back in with like a thinner line, and I kind of push it out as I go. And then I have a fully loaded pen. So now we're going to do that with the other two pens. So I like to square it up first, so that way I can catch just the edge. It does take a little bit of force to do this, but I feel like it lines them up really nicely. And then I don't have to do much else. I do like to kind of flatten that back down. Let me see if there's anything I need to clean up along the edge. Okay, I do need a little bit more on that corner there. So we're going to do a nice thin stroke down there. Boom. So we've got two pens loaded, and now we're going to load our big one, which I like to load from here for the 10 placer. That one I always load from this longer side. I kind of work at it from two ways until it becomes too little putty left for me to be able to do that with. And that one is actually a surprisingly large amount that made it onto that pad right there. So I actually don't even have to reload this one, it looks like. Let me scrape off the excess. I'm just going to pop it right down there. All right, so now my pens are prepared. We will take care of the putty, and then we will get into it. Oh, I'm also using some different cover minders. Some of them, I don't remember where I got some of them. I do know, like, the one that I'm using today, this is a rainbow poop. Kind of like if you think about the rainbow poop emoji. This is a rainbow poop. It's polymer clay. This one is, I think that I got this one from Crafts with Crashly. It's like the one Crafts with Crashly purchase that I have because I don't use cover minders and I don't like cover minders. So we're going to put the pens off to the side. We're going to peel our tape back, our cover paper, whatever, plastic. That's what we're peeling back. Plastic, you guys, if I could talk. Plastic. We just peeled the plastic back. So anywho, all right. So I know I did not put this video up on Saturday like I normally do. And there was a perfectly valid reason for why I did not put it up on a Saturday. And that's mostly because, oh, let me give myself a timer so I can know how long I'm going to talk for. Otherwise, I'll be like, let's see, I want, oh wait, no, I want the timer, not the stopwatch timers. We're going to do a 50-minute timer. There we go. Because then I can look at that since my camera is up overhead and I can't see it from this angle. All right, so we've got our 310. So we're gonna go ahead and kind of swooshel it down. I do like how these line up in here. They're very nice. Oh, I should probably get my trash minder. I've been putting like the trashy ones in this little like Starbucks mug type cover minder thing that has its own little lid. I've been putting the trash in there from this kit. We're gonna start off with our 8-placer and we're gonna fill in this and then we're gonna start working over to there. And I do the big line with the 10-placer and then the fill in with the 8. So anyways, let's see. So there is a perfectly valid reason for why I did not get my video up yesterday, and that's primarily because I was working on that kit and I did not want to switch to another kit. I should have just pulled this one up, but I honestly didn't even think about pulling this kit up last night. Went to film and get this video up today. And that's mostly like, yeah, it just totally slipped my mind. I did make really good progress on that mystery kit that I was doing. I did make really good progress on it yesterday. Got a little bit, good chunk done, but I knew I wasn't going to finish it yesterday and I knew I could finish it today. And that once I finished it today, I'd go ahead and work on my, I decided once I finished it today, I'd go ahead and do my, WIP and chat at that point in time. So that's the primary reason. Also, I wanted to, since I posted the really long haul video yesterday, I felt like, or well, Friday is when I posted it, which is yesterday for me because I'm filming on Saturday. So since I posted that really long haul video, I didn't want to post a long WIP and chat the next day after. I wanted to kind of at least spread it out. So that was ultimately, those were the reasonings, not because I did anything super spectacular fun or anything like that. It was literally for those reasons. This is the part I do not like, is with the squares. I'll color block rounds all day long, and I don't mind color blocking these squares either. I much prefer for it to confetti squares, but for me, it's like where I'm working on this canvas is up far enough that I have to I can't see it like I like to see to get my placement perfection in there. So it's a little bit trickier for me because I work on an easel normally, but obviously this I'm not working on an easel. I'm working flat on my table for this one. So it just takes a little bit more work for me to get everything lined up on this one right here. So anywho, that was really the only reason why. So how did everybody do? Did they, for this weekend, did they end up getting a bunch of releases? Did they wish list things or did they hold off? Let me know down below what you planned on. I do have to say, I'm trying to think of, oh yeah, no, I didn't buy anything from this weekend. I decided, I think I wish listed one of them that I will probably end up pulling off the wish list. I was like, ooh, that's pretty. But it wasn't like, okay, I have to have that kit pretty. It was just oh, that's pretty. So I probably will pull that one back off the wish list. I like to leave it on there for a minute and then be like, okay, do I really want this? Yay, nay. And then it's going to be one of those things where I'm like, nay, and pull it off. So anyways, this has been, oh my goodness, has this been quite the week, you guys, quite the week. Oh wow. It's been a week. I'm so glad that we are into the weekend. I wish that I had another day on this weekend as opposed to having to go back to work on Monday. I could do with some extra time off. That would be really nice. but unfortunately, I do not get additional time off. I just have the regular weekend. And I'm trying to not use my leave right now. So as much as I want to take an extra time off, I am looking forward to the fact that I will have a 4-day weekend this coming weekend. That is going to be wonderful. And I am really looking forward to that. And that's for the holiday. A week from Monday, we have the Columbus Day holiday, or like Indigenous Peoples Day. But we have, that is our coming up a week from now. So I think I have Friday to Monday off. So I am really looking forward to that. That's going to be a nice break to have a 4-day weekend. But anywho, other than that, we have this week, oh my goodness, I had it the last weekend. I had ordered a delivery. I usually order like delivery like once every 10-ish days or so. I'll have a delivery to the house here. And I ended up ordering it like last week on, I think it was like Thursday or something like that. Thursday or Friday. It might have been Friday. Yeah, it was Friday that I ordered delivery, and I ordered from a new to me Japanese restaurant that I hadn't tried before. And oh my word, that food was heaven. That was my Friday dinner, Saturday breakfast, Saturday lunch, Saturday dinner. And it was so good. It was so good. Like, and I'm talking like I'm spoiled because I've lived in Japan and I've had some amazing seafood and sushi and everything else from Japan. Like actually in Japan, I've had some really good food. But the food here at this particular restaurant that I went to was like surprisingly delicious. I was very impressed with their food. And I was like, oh, this is an absolute must-have. Like, it was so good that I could not stop thinking about it. And I ended up ordering it on Sunday as well. So then that was my food for like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. It was just that, like, legit that good. The food was incredible. Because I had gotten mostly sushi. And then I had also done an appetizer, which was basically just, no rice or anything. It was just, the slices of raw tuna. They did kind of like sear the edges of it, but it was like a tuna steak that had been sliced. It was, oh my goodness, it was on point. I was so pleased with it. And it was so good that I ordered that again on Sunday. I was like, that's how delicious it was. I was like, I want to have that again, and ended up ordering it Sunday. So like literally twice in that time frame. That's how delicious this was. But yeah, it was on point. So that was like the weekend, and then I've been working on a actual cross stitch as like a stitch along. So Friday night I started it because the new part released Friday night. So I started it Friday night, and then I finished it Saturday morning. And then I did some diamond painting after that and finished, I think I finished a small kit that I was doing, and then it was time, I started rolling into the Crafter's Den Summer Mystery Kit, from Jaded Gem Shop. I started working on that over the weekend, doing a little bit of it here and there, and was making good progress on that. And the fact that I started that kit, because I know I mentioned last week what my goals were for before October hit. I wanted to, finish those 2 additional canvases. Well, I didn't even start either of them but I also told you guys I might get distracted by the Summer Mystery, which, yeah, I got distracted by the Summer Mystery. So I didn't even get the other canvases done because I was just going right into working on the Summer Mystery, and then I kept working on it. And then, of course, there were 2 days that I didn't get to do any diamond painting at all because I was, I had to film my month in review, and then I had to film my my month haul video, and then edit them. And like those videos being longer takes longer for everything along the way. It's longer to film, it's longer to edit, it's longer to export and render. And then from there, you have to do upload, everything else. If you guys wondered how I'm storing all the 310 for this canvas, sandwich baggies. I have 2 more bags that are fuller than this. that are still sitting over on my other desk. This is just the one bag that I'm working out of, because I hate working out of, I think I poured too much in there. I hate working out of the other baggies, or not the baggies, but the heat sealed whatever things that the drills come in. So I went ahead and just dumped all of these drills from those things into a sandwich bag. So that way I didn't have to deal with that anymore, because I was just like, I am not doing it. So that was, and it's been much nicer having done that, because then I just, pour the drills from there into here. I also didn't want to take up like multiple containers, like multiple actual full Elizabeth Ward containers of just 310 from trying to pour it into those small containers, because that would have taken up way, way, way too many containers. So I ended up doing it as you see with the sandwich baggies, and it's worked fantastic. It's worked great. Just throwing it in the sandwich baggies, because I have 3 sandwich baggies full of drills that happen to all be 310. That's a lot of 310. But this is also a massive canvas, and the entire border is 310, and then all of the the background in these sections is going to be 310 as well. That won't be as bad to do though, because it's not going to be like solid swaths of color blocking. It's going to be, you're working around stuff. I do hate when I accidentally pop them off like that. So let me go ahead and pop that back in. So yeah, and I didn't even push the drill down. Goodness. It's because I can't see the drills effectively right now, and I like to be able to see them, which is not happening right now. Let's see. They're just too far away, and they're too, as I get too many there. The drills are or the canvas, it's too far away up here for me to be able to see without laying on the table basically. So yeah, there's that part of it. But yeah, so anywho, that's how my week started, with some really good Japanese food. And then Monday and Tuesday were basically normal days. I've been doing getting a lot of projects and things done at work. Because I did get basically the equivalent of a promotion. Essentially, I now am the department head for the physical therapy, occupational therapy, and chiropractor department. So I oversee all of the staff that work there at the hospital. Which, think back to, what is it, Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, because now I'm spend all my time doing stuff, work-related stuff. And now I'm at, between that and my other job that I have at the hospital, I only spend maybe 50% of my time in patient care now. Whereas before, I moved up, I was close to 3/4. But now I'm 50% patient care as opposed to more than that. But I'm in the process of winding my schedule down to fit that 50% patient care. So it's still kind of that transition for the schedule. Look at that. We filled in a good chunk. So now I can go to my other pen, and we're going to go ahead and do the every other business for it. So, but basically with me having this position, now I've got a lot more things that I have to do work related wise. So I'm a lot busier. So rather than being okay, I'm done for the day and it's only 3:30, now it'll be okay, it's 4 o'clock and I still have so much to do. So I've, for the most part, probably been working until close to 5 o'clock every day lately, just to get everything, just to try to stay ahead of things, which is really just, I'm constantly playing catch up more so than anything. I still have too many drills in my container. So I'm kind of in that fine tuning, still too many drills in the container. So it's making it tricky to do. So once I get the perfect balance of drills in there, then I'll be able to multi-place and fly. But right now it's still kind of the tricky amount. That is a trash drill. So yeah, between being busy at work, that was like my Monday and Tuesday doing projects. And then Wednesday, because of course I work for the federal government. So Wednesday was the start of the new fiscal year, which, go figure, guess what? The government has like officially technically shut down because we do not have a budget passed yet. So that means that, most of my staff that work for me I have a lot of contractors, and contractors, their money is typically paid out in advance, but at the same time, if they're not considered essential workers, they don't come to work during a government shutdown. So it's a whole process to go through that to get somebody to like make sure that they're classified as like, a essential worker, and all of this. And we had pushed out to all of the contracting companies saying that we had basically classified who we had classified as, essential versus non-essential, and who we expected to be there during a government shutdown if one actually went through. So we had gone through that and notified all of the companies about it and what the plans were for it, which would have had all of my staff coming to work on Wednesday on the 1st, even if there was a government shutdown. Because, we do direct patient care, which, you always want the patient care piece tends to come pretty highly, comes first. Well, on Tuesday, my personnel are like letting me know, they're like, hey, we just got an email from our company saying that to not go to work if there's a government shutdown. We don't come into work on Wednesday. And I'm like, oh, that's odd. Okay. And then like a couple hours later, they'd come to me again and they'd be like, okay, well, now we got an email saying that we are supposed to go to work in case of a government shutdown. So I'm like, okay, good. They got the message. They are like tracking with what the rest of the hospital it informed them of. So we're like, okay, good, easy day. And then a couple hours later, they get, I think it was like they started off with one saying go to work, and then it went to one that said don't come to work, and then they got another email saying, or it was like, it was go to work, and then for the first one, don't go to work for the second one. The third one was go to work. And then they got another email at the end of the day at almost the end of the day at 3:00 in the afternoon on Tuesday saying don't go to work. And yet so when I reached out to the contracting office at the hospital and I was like, hey, so this is what they're being said. What's the answer? They reached back to me and were like, oh yeah, no, they're supposed to report to work. And I'm like, okay. So I told them, no, you are actually supposed to report to work tomorrow. They were like, roger that. And I was like, if I find out any more information or hear something different, I will let you guys know. But I hadn't. So I left and I purposefully stayed until about 5:00 on Tuesday before I went home, just to make sure that I didn't get any late emails saying something separate for personnel. Well, come to find out, we come in, I start getting texts at 6:30. I don't usually get to work until closer to 7:30, 7:15, 7:30-ish time frame. But I have some of my personnel that get there at 6:30 because that's when our physical therapy clinic technically opens at 6:30. And they were like, hey, so we are an official government shutdown. Does that mean that we get to go home? And I was like, I was on my way in at that time. I was like, I have not heard anything differently from you guys, because their company was still saying don't go to work, but they all did show up to work because I had told them come to work. So I was like, I haven't heard anything, but once I get into the hospital, let me check my email and I will let you know if I heard anything different. Because if it's a matter of them going home, that's a few hundred patients, 300 to 400 patients that we have to call and cancel appointments for, because that's how many patients we would potentially see in one day is around 300 to 400. So I was like, let me get in, check my email. So I left, and then go figure, it was like a perfect storm. There was a really, really bad car accident outside one of the gates to enter the base that happened at 6 or 6:30 in the morning. and it was actually involved a fatality. So it was one of those things that they had they had parts of the road closed. You couldn't use that gate to get to the hospital or to get to onto the base. And it basically, because it was right at like morning rush hour, so it was significantly impacted traffic flow in both directions. Thankfully, from the direction I was coming, it didn't add that much time to me at that hour of the morning. But it added like an hour transit time for my people that lived the other direction and were coming from the other way. So it was quite the backup that happened with this. And the one saving grace for it is it meant that a lot of patients were canceling appointments because of the traffic, or they were like rescheduling them because they wouldn't be able to make it there in a timely manner. So that was like the one and only positive to the whole thing. But so I go in, check my email. There was an email that was sent like late the day before, which I'm like, I don't know why he didn't like send it or like let the directors know so the directors could let the department heads know, basically saying that this one contract company, which happened to be all of my people, was telling people to stay home and we can't force them to come in. So, listen to what the company said. So at that point, I'm like, okay, well, we're in a government shutdown. So I guess that means that I have to send all of my contractors home. So I made sure, double checked with my boss, my supervisor, and was like, hey, well, we're going to start, because of the company is saying X, we're going to go ahead and start canceling all of the patients, calling all the patients to cancel their appointments. And then, send my staff home because, they're supposed to be on that furlough, or not furlough, but basically the government is shut down. So he was like, all right, sounds like a plan, do it. So we start doing that. We finish canceling all of our patients at like 8:15. And everybody, like the people that are still there, because some people stayed to call patients, other people just like moosed and left and got out of there as quickly as possible, and left the rescheduling to others. So the ones that had stayed to help with the canceling of appointments and everything, there were still a handful in there. They're starting to pack up and like get themselves ready to go. And then one of them is like, it's like 20 minutes after we finished rescheduling the patients and canceling patients. One of them, he's like, hey, we just got an email from our company saying it to return to work. And I was like, great. We like literally just canceled all of the appointments for the day. And now we have to, now everybody can be like a return to work. And knowing that, a lot of people had to drive through that horrendous traffic, I was like, you know what? I was like, basically it was like, if you want to take the day off and not work today, you don't have to come back in. Just let me know. If you do plan on coming back in, you can use this as a training day to work on your trainings, because it was it's a new fiscal year. So all of the trainings kind of like reset. So I was like, I left it open. I was like, you guys decide which way you want to do it. Or you can call and call your patients and see if you can get and have patients come back in and see patients again. I think I had some people that decided to stay home because of the traffic they had already spent, hours, like a couple hours in traffic earlier that day, both on the way in and on the way out. So they were like, you know what, we're not coming back in, we're done. And I totally get that. Like, I wouldn't want to drive back in traffic like that. And then some of them, the ones that did come back, because they were like only a few minutes out or still in the parking lot, they came back in and they started, and they were like, well, what are we supposed to do? And I was like, well, you can either call patients to have them come in, or you can, work on peer reviews, work on your trainings. There's things that you can do. So they were like, all right. So I think most of them decided to do like the trainings and things like that. Some of my PTAs did decide to just work on, or did actually call some of their patients to come in. And then they did see like the post-op patients, they called them to get them back in. But for the most part, people were like, okay, we're just going to do it as an admin day, which is completely fine. I mean, we had literally already called all the patients and canceled them, and nobody wanted to drive onto base with that traffic that like literally would stay horrible all along. Well, I have a patient, my 8:15 patient that day, because of course I was still seeing patients. My 8:15 patient left his house at 7:30, lives less than 20 minutes away, and got there at 9:07 is when he got in. Like, that's how bad the traffic was that day. So when I say it was bad traffic, it was bad traffic. But yeah, so needless to say, by the time like 9 o'clock rolled around, I was like exhausted and just like mentally exhausted from dealing with, you know, the back and forth and this and that and all of the canceling of appointments and all that stuff. So I was just mentally exhausted already. You know, I had a headache brewing, all of this stuff, and it was because it was a day. And then, you know, still had to do normal work stuff, see my patients, do the admin, get stuff done and filed and everything else. There was a lot that I was doing. And I was doing all of that, and I finished everything from that stuff. Saw patients, everything. It was a long day. So I got home on Wednesday, and I was just beyond exhausted. I don't even know, did I even do any diamond painting Wednesday, or was I just so exhausted that I just kind of was like, I need to crash and not have to think in any way, shape, or form. I can't remember exactly what I did. Feels like that was ages ago. I am having issues picking up that drill. It literally feels like ages ago. But anyways, yeah, so that was that. Like, Thursday was back to business as normal for Thursday. We had a staff meeting, and I was doing whenever we do our monthly staff meeting, we always do some like training or some education piece. So we'll do like each of the physical therapists or non-occupational therapists, we rotate through, and everybody has to present a training topic of some type. They can pick what it is. It's like you just pick something and you can talk on it. So, my person that was originally on the schedule to do it for this month, for the month of October, had just spent, you know, a few weeks in the Philippines visiting family and had got back on Tuesday. So I was like, I'm not going to have like, and you know, if she didn't already have it done. So I'm like, I already had my training topic already set up and everything, because I was originally going to do it for February, but then I ended up being gone that day. So I didn't do it in February. So I was like, yeah, don't worry. I'll go ahead and do the presentation. I'll do that, because I had one in my back pocket that I could pull out. I think it was like a case report for an interesting patient case that I had. So I ended up doing that, and we did our training. We did that, and then it was, you know, like, it ended up being a busy Thursday, because I saw patients in the morning. I had to run upstairs and talk to my boss for some stuff, and then I ended up doing had a meeting at lunchtime, and then after my meeting at lunchtime, I had to roll right into our staff meeting. And then after the staff meeting, I had to catch up on the admin that I hadn't had a chance to do all day. So I was just like, I felt like I was running around on Thursday. At least it was none of like the chaos. That was, you know, I love it when I misplace drills like this and they just go all over and get all weird. So thankfully it was like, you know, none of the chaos from Wednesday, the day before. It was just like normal clinic chaos, but still it was a lot. But yeah, thankfully all of that was done, and then from there it was a matter of, you know, rolling into the end of the day, making sure everything was good. I have a couple of new staff members that are still going through getting their access to all of the systems yet, and the clearance to be able to start treating patients. So it was working on some of that stuff for them. So it was a whole process of everything that I was doing. But yeah, it was coming along, made progress on things, and ooh, look at that. We're cruising on this like color blocking for this section here. I'm like, where did that drill come from? There, we're just gonna put it right there. But anywho, that was the eventfulness of my week basically. And then Friday wasn't as bad. It was a little bit tamer. I was able to catch up on a good amount of admin stuff on Friday. But yeah, I did get my hair cut on Tuesday night. I did actually get my hair cut, so I was happy with that because it was starting to get a little long and shaggy in the front, which then it gets into my eyes and that annoys me. So thankfully, yeah, I got it cut on Tuesday night. And then I actually was supposed to was planning on seeing a movie Thursday night, but I was just so tired that I did not. And it worked out because I ended up filming my, haul video to go up on Friday. And that video was like, at least an hour and a half. Well, I think it was like an hour 45 of like straight through recording. But I ended up of course I had to edit a bunch of it out because it would be like, okay, let me take care of this canvas and pull out the next canvas. And I'm not going to make you guys suffer while I do that. I usually edit those out. We are into the filling it in part. Woohoo! All right. So, yeah, it was quite the crazy week. I did, because of course it was, Wednesday that Diamond Art Club came out with their Halloween mystery box. And I'm not like a massive Halloween person. There's some kits that I'm like, oh, they're super cute. But it's not something that I'm like this massive Halloween fan and have to have it. So I wasn't going to buy the box. And then, I don't know, it was just that whole like, I got that text message in like a down moment where things had started to kind of like I could breathe for a moment. And got the text message saying that they were only 200 boxes left in stock. And I was like, and I went ahead and bought the mystery box. So that's supposed to get in on Monday. I have actually, so far, this is the first time I've ever done it. I have managed to stay away from all spoilers, so I have no idea what is in the box. So that's exciting because when I open the box Monday night, it gets in on Monday. So when I open the box on Monday night, it will like legit be my first time seeing and knowing what could even be in that box. And then I'll pull up and I'll see what the other kits could potentially be. But yeah, so I'm kind of excited about that to see what it is. If it's kits that I don't like, well, guess what? I can go ahead and either trade them for something that I like, or I just, sell them to and like recoup the cost of what I spent on the box. But we will see how it goes. I still have that autumn sunset canvas from the summer box. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad that I'm hopeful that I don't end up with like another one like that, because that was like a low move. That was a brutal move, putting that canvas in literally every box. I'm still not over that. But there wasn't anything that was like a must-have out of all of those boxes. Nothing was really a must-have at all. So I'm like, okay, ambivalent about it. I'm kind of intrigued to see what I get from this one. But other than that, I actually have been really good this month and have not made any other purchases minus that mystery box. I have not purchased anything so far this month, and which is a good thing because, government shutdown means that unless they either go to a continuing resolution in the next week and a half, or they pass a budget in the next week and a half, which is doubtful, or they pass a military pay act, or like they've done in previous years. Since I work for the federal government, if this continues and they don't pass something saying that they're going to pay the military, even during this shutdown period, then I will not get a paycheck for my next, I won't get paid on, like the 15th when I'm supposed to get paid. So I'm like, okay, there is going to be no extra purchases until I get paid again because, I have to pay mortgage and all of this stuff. And I was actually originally planning on this weekend, taking this weekend and going car shopping because I really, really need a new car. So I was planning on like test driving some cars this weekend and going through that whole process. But I'm like, well, there's no point in doing it now because I'm not buying anything until I for sure am getting paid again. Because, I don't want to be buying a car in the middle of, a government shutdown when I am paid by the government. So, anywho, that's on hold because my poor little green car is having some engine coolant issues. I've replaced the reservoir on that car, the engine coolant reservoir. I have replaced that, I think, 3 times, twice on my own, and then once I had the dealership do it, which was literally like a year ago. So it originally broke in Hawaii, I think back in like 2019, I want to say. Back in Hawaii. Maybe it was 2020 before, or 2021 before I moved. I don't remember. It could have been 2021. Whenever it was, my dad happened, we ended up changing it when my dad was there. We replaced it together, and it took like 30 minutes. It's not a big, invasive, like, car repair type thing to just replace it. But I think now, and the next 2 times I did it by myself, which it's tricky to do with only 2 hands. There's some things that you do on it that kind of need 3 hands. But, you know, I did it and was able to do it just fine. And I've done it twice on my own, or well, one additional time on my own. And then the other time I just had the dealership do it because I already was having my car in for tires. So I was like, well, if I'm already getting my car in to have the tires done, I might as well just have them do this at the same time. And now that was a year ago, and now here it is needing to be done again. And I also need to get like the hoses replaced on it. And I'm like, well, at this point, do I really want to spend that much money on this car? Or do I want to go ahead and look into getting a new car? Because my car is 12 years old, so it is older. It's still been doing great. It's still like drivable and all that stuff. I know me wiggling the table is wiggling my camera. But at the same time, I want to make sure that I have a reliable car, especially with it being just me. I don't want something to happen to my car and I'm stranded somewhere. Granted, I do have, car insurance, and I can always call my company if something happened and, could get rescued and all that stuff. But at the same time, that's kind of like one of those things that I do not want to have to deal with is that, like, let me look at making sure these drills are lined up. Yep, I thought so. It looked like I was 1 off on these drills, and I was. This is why I need to be able to see what I'm doing better than what I can. Really, I just have to survive this portion, and then I will, like, slide it up to get to, like, the next portion, which won't be as bad as this. Because I want to do the outline. My goal is to try to do this outline for this canvas first before I come back to it and work on filling in, like, the actual cards. We will see. I probably realistically should not do it like that. I should finish this top part and then go in and fill here and then move it up. But I feel like I kind of want to see how it looks. And that would actually help to, like, break up this 310 that's taking me forever to do. Because it's like, I love color blocking, but this is not just like easy color block. This is the annoying color blocking, because I have to, in order for everything to fit in with the grid just right, because it's pure color blocking in this outline border area, I do have to pay attention to it and do like what I'm doing this every other, because I tried not doing that on the very first section that I did on this canvas and quickly learned that nope, I absolutely have to have in every other. Otherwise, it's like the minuscule gaps that you get just from placing side by side end up causing spacing issues further down the line. So I finally like recovered from the challenge of that, where it was like pretty impossible to get the drills in. I finally recovered from that, and I'm working into the good way up here, but still, anywho. So yes, I'm trying to think, like, I just feel like I've rambled about so many random things. But yeah, that's kind of where I was at. I'm interested to see, well, it's like, so yeah, now I have to wait on my car until I can get a new car for, a little bit longer until I, government shutdown and all of that stuff is over. So now I'm just in, the waiting game, waiting for everything to go back to normal. I still go to work, even if they stop paying me, I still go to work. That's the way it works when you're in the military. They have us still go back into work. But yeah. So I'm just like, all right, This would be the first time that I wouldn't have gotten paid, because in previous years they have passed like those military pay acts where the military, we just got paid regardless, and we never noticed like a disruption in our pay at all. So I'm hopeful that they're able to do the same, because there's a lot of service members who, you know, especially our like junior enlisted, there's a lot of service members who, if they don't have that paycheck coming in every month and twice a month, like wouldn't be able to live. Like there's a huge portion of military members who are on like food stamps, assistance, that type of thing, because they can't afford, like depending on where they're stationed or whatever it may be, or like their family, they can't afford the full cost of food and everything else on their own. They have to have like the assistance to do it. So that's something that, you know, keeping that in mind, very much, like it's very important that they pass something for pay, especially with all of our junior sailors that we have. And well, not just sailors, every branch, but our junior members who are already on assistance for a living. And that's even, you know, getting their full-time pay. So that's something to really keep in mind, and why that's so important. Well, for anybody to get paid is important, obviously, but yeah. So that's been like the stuff that's been like straining my mind lately. I know I try not to talk about any politics or anything like that in here. I try to keep that completely away from my channel, but that's something that I feel like, if just saying it how I did, that removes any kind of politics from the equation, and it's just like, okay, this is a concern that I have, and this is what, you know, and this is why it's a concern mostly for my junior people. So anywho, but yeah, that's been, you know, the week. A lot of like government shutdown woes, obviously, the things that people don't think about, when they're like, oh, hey, business is normal for most of the United States. Well, not so much in my world, where, you know, we're a lot of other things to think about, especially, you know, working for the government. So yeah, it's a lot. And other than that, I'm trying to think. I have been doing really good. I need a break from that pen, so we're going to swap over to this pen. Like I said, I've done good about not purchasing as much this month. It has definitely helped. There's some kits that I really wanted that I purposefully like have not bought. Like normally the the canvases from Sevi over at Diamond Artisan Shop, those are always like must-have purchases for me. But even this week, because it's like her kits are made to order, kind of like Jada Gem Shop. So you order it and then you'll get it in, you know, like a little bit after that. It's not something that, you know, you order it and she immediately ships it to you. No, they're made to order, which I like that, because then I can order my round drill canvases for everything, because she offers everything in rounds and squares. Brandy does. So I love the fact that she does that, because I can order my round canvases of all of these kits that I like. But also at the same time, it means that nothing's going to sell out. So until, you know, I get this hoard under control and kind of work down some of these numbers on the hoard, then I'm going to, you know, hold off on buying, because again, like my hoard has reached a number that I'm like, I never wanted it to be that big. And I've already destashed a bunch of kit. I've basically destashed anything that I would potentially be like, okay, I could pass on this canvas. I've already done that. So everything that I have left in my hoard is stuff that I absolutely love. And I'm like, there's no way I'm getting rid of those. There's no way I'm getting rid of that. So especially if you consider, like, I have a huge chunk of my hoard is literally like, I have a big chunk of my hoard that's nothing but Yume canvases, because I have every Yume canvas that's been released. That's like 50 something canvases. So you figure, you know, that's just one artist. And there's some artists like Yume that I literally have everything from. There's a couple artists like that, but Yume is the one that I have the most of. And then like from Diamond Artisan Shop, I pretty much buy every Allura Poutrot canvas that she releases, because I love Allura's work. She has some absolutely stunning work. It's kind of like that pastel lo-fi vibes. That's so cool. Her canvases are beautiful, and it's like really good quality work too. And I've done a couple of them so far. The rest of them are kind of like waiting in my rainy day hoard. When I finish my Drills and Chills kits, these Halloween-y kits, I do have an Allura that's waiting to be worked on in like some of my upcoming kits to do once I finished these ones. There's this one drill there. I knew there was one that needed popped down. I like to feel for them and see what needs pushed down. But look at how much progress we've made. We almost completely finished this section, which is pretty awesome. Ooh, I think my timer, did my timer already ding? I think it did. Nope, I have like 5 minutes left on my timer. My phone is in bedtime mode, so my watch was like, oh, hey, it's, it's in, bedtime, sleep mode, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's been my work. I know not nearly as entertaining for you guys. I'm not going to do like an official Stashdown type thing. I should jump on board with Natalie and do an actual Stashdown, but I know there's certain artists like Yume. I'm still, even if I'm on like as close to a low no buy as I'll ever get, I will still buy all of the Yume's that release. That's something that like I am not gonna miss a Yume. If it was like other artists, I could hold off on, but Yume, it's like no, that's something that I will buy all of those. Even if I'm on like a no buy for absolutely everything else, those will still be purchased. So I know, I'm bad. But that's what I'm really going to focus on in October is not purchasing any more kits because I still have a number of outstanding kits waiting to come in from some small shops. So I'm like, well, I really need those kits to come in and then I can really assess, okay, this is my hoard. And I would like to have it where I don't have any outstanding orders at all. That'd be kind of nice because it's been a while since I have had no kits in my, pending or like not received yet in my gems flow, and I really want to have it where they're all in that where that section has been completely like zeroed out. So that's my goal, is to get to that point, which means not buying more canvases. That's the biggest thing that means, not buying more stuff. So we'll see how well I do. That's my plan. But I'm also not the greatest at sticking to those types of things. But as long as, Yume is always a must purchase. I'm really pleased with how much progress I knocked out in this 310. Because we started over here in the O, and we've knocked our way out almost all the way over. We just have a couple lines left to fill in. And then we will be done with this section and this page of the pattern. And then I can go back to pulling out the pattern to fill in the other stuff. So yes, we're getting there, you guys. Only like 20 something pages left on my cross stitch conversion pattern after finishing this page here. This part isn't the part that takes the time. It's this filling in the background that takes the longest. I do have to add more drills to my tray, but we're not going to add an excessive amount like we did last time. We're just going to be tame about it. Yes. Oh, you guys would not believe how ridiculously adorable the girls have been lately. Well, minus Sushi's chaos today. Oh my word. So they've been like, when Sushi is being sweet, she is sweet. Absolute sweetheart baby. But then when she's like, I am causing chaos and I'm going to be a chaos demon, it's like, I'm like, oh my goodness, why? Why do I have this cat? Why? I start questioning things. Like today, this little rascal was like, hey, you won't let me pound on all of the canvases and the artwork on the walls, because I literally have these like little sticky thingies that stick all of the framed canvases and artwork in my house. They're hanging on the wall, but then I have these little sticky things that I have between the canvas and the wall to fully stick it in place, because otherwise Sushi goes like this, boom, 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 and beats on it because she likes the sound it makes when she beats on something on the wall like that. And she knows she's not supposed to, which means she does it even more. She will literally, I'll tell her no, she'll look at me, turn around, slap her tail at me, and then do it again. Like, that's how ridiculous this cat is, you guys. That's how ridiculous she is. She's something else. So, anywho, with this little rascal being as much of a brat as she is, she decided today, I'm going to climb. She does a pull-up. She climbs up the piece of art, which thankfully it's like framed ones on the lower level. So she climbs up, does a pull-up on the top of the frame, pulls herself up, and then with one paw, her top paw, she will let go of the frame in her one paw to pull up position, and she will start like going after the painting above the one that I secured. Like legit, this cat, it's ridiculous. And then I like played with her flingy toy. I played with her for like a solid 20 minutes straight until she was like laying there, like sides heaving because she was so exhausted. And she was fine and she came in and like curled up and laid down in her little bed in here, her little hammock bed. And she was fine doing that until, you know, I got up and started moving around and doing something. And then she's like, oh, mom's up. I need to be up. Oh, you're in the living room? You want to sit on the couch? Well, I need to try to beat up on the artwork. So you can't sit on the couch comfortably because you have to keep yelling at me because I'm going to be a brat and pest. And she's, oh my goodness, it's like never ending, this little rascal. Never ending. And I'm always like, Sushi, knock it off. Like right now, she's being a perfect little angel. She's, you know, she's tormented me all day. So now she's exhausted and she's currently, you know, laying in her little hammock bed over by the door. And she's, you know, sound asleep, being all adorable. And Mochi's in her box being cute. Mochi decided this evening that it was must jump on the counter day. I was trying to eat dinner and she's like, I'm going to race around the house, run into the dining room, run into the kitchen, jump on the counter, and then sit there. So I would have to get up and go shoo her off the counter. And then, you know, I'd sit down and 30 seconds later, off she'd go again. And I was like, really? What is it with you guys? They were in a mood today, apparently. And I'm like, this is not normal Saturday shenanigans. You're normally not this bad on Saturdays. You're normally not like that. Like, that's a during the week thing when you're mad at me for being gone all day. Not a, I've been paying attention to your little booty rolls all day long attitude. But yeah, they were something else today. Absolutely something else. Hopefully they stay calm and chill for the rest of the evening because, you know, when I go to bed, I don't want to have to get out of bed 10 times to go corral a Sushi chaos because that happens regularly. Because she's like, I must beat up on the paintings because you're trying to sleep. And I'm like, and if you have not tried to sleep, if you've never tried to sleep with the sound of a cat pounding on the artwork on the walls, yeah, it's one of those sounds that it's like I can't sleep through it. I can't ignore it. I have to deal with it. And she knows. She literally knows because she does it to get my attention. All right. And done. We are done with this section. Look at that success. Oh my goodness. Yay. So now I need to like roll it down and everything. But that whole section is done. I know this whole thing probably jiggled just because of how much I'm moving the desk to work on it. But anyways, I have completed the 310 in this section. And it looks fantastic. So now I can move on to the next one, continuing the whiteout, the rest of this border of this card, and then down from there. So yes, we are making good progress. Making good progress, you guys. And I can trim the plastic to right here so I don't have excess plastic wandering about. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And, you know, me ranting about my chaos gremlins these last few minutes. And that's all I have for you guys for today. So I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.